Hidden deep within the Nevada desert lies Area 51, one of the most secretive military sites on Earth. While its general layout can be spotted on Google Earth, everything beyond that remains strictly classified. Officially known as Groom Lake Air Force Base, the facility was established in the 1950s as a remote testing ground for experimental aircraft. Over the decades, it has been closely associated with advanced stealth planes, next-generation aerospace technology, and unmanned aerial systems developed far from public view. What truly fueled its global fame, however, are decades of persistent rumors, stories of crashed UFOs, recovered alien materials, and covert research allegedly connected to the Roswell incident. The base is surrounded by restricted airspace, warning signs, and armed security patrols, and approaching without authorization can lead to immediate detention. Whether it conceals cutting-edge military innovation or something far more mysterious, Area 51 continues to stand as one of the most heavily guarded and controversial forbidden zones on the planet. In northern Ukraine, the Chernobyl exclusion zone spans nearly 1,000 square miles, making it one of the largest radioactive contamination zones on Earth. In April 1986, a catastrophic explosion at reactor number 4 released massive amounts of radioactive material into the atmosphere, forcing the rapid evacuation of hundreds of thousands of people and permanently altering the region. From above on Google Earth, entire towns appear frozen in time. Rows of apartment blocks, schools, hospitals, and abandoned amusement parks slowly being overtaken by forests and wildlife. The most iconic site is the city of Pripyat, once home to nearly 50,000 residents, which was completely evacuated within hours of the disaster. Personal belongings, furniture, and vehicles were left behind, creating a ghost city untouched by human life for decades. Even today, radiation levels in parts of the exclusion zone remain dangerously high, and scientists estimate that some areas will remain uninhabitable for hundreds, possibly thousands of years. The eerie silence of Chernobyl stands as a haunting reminder of humanity's technological ambition and the irreversible consequences when control is lost. At the northwest base of Mount Fuji lies Aokigahara Forest, a vast and unusually dense woodland formed atop hardened lava flows from an eruption nearly 1,200 years ago. Spanning roughly 12 square miles, the forest is known for its uneven volcanic terrain, hidden caves, and thick canopy that blocks sunlight even during the day. The ground is riddled with sharp lava rock, making movement difficult and disorienting. The mineral-rich rock beneath the surface is believed to interfere with magnetic fields, and for decades, locals have claimed that compasses behave erratically here, a detail that helped earn Aokigahara its reputation as the Lost Forest. While clearly marked hiking trails exist and are used by visitors, stepping just a few feet off path can lead into a silent maze where every direction looks the same. Inside the forest, sound seems to vanish. Dense vegetation absorbs noise. Cell phone signals weaken or disappear, and the lack of landmarks makes it easy to lose one's sense of direction. Caves formed by ancient lava tubes further add to the complexity of the terrain. Despite its natural beauty and proximity to one of Japan's most iconic mountains, Aokigahara carries an atmosphere that many describe as unnervingly still, a place where nature feels dominant, indifferent, and quietly overwhelming. Lake Karachay, located in southern Russia, is considered one of the most radioactive places on Earth. Though small, roughly 1.5 miles long and less than a mile wide, its history is deadly. During the Cold War, the nearby Mayak nuclear facility used the lake as an open dumping ground for highly radioactive waste, releasing enormous amounts of contamination directly into the environment. At its peak, standing near the shoreline for less than an hour was believed to be enough to deliver a lethal dose of radiation to the human body. In the 1960s, when parts of the lake began to dry up, radioactive dust was carried by the wind, exposing thousands of people in surrounding regions. In later decades, authorities attempted to reduce the danger by filling the lake with concrete blocks and soil, but massive quantities of radioactive material still remain buried beneath the surface. From above, Lake Karachay appears quiet and almost ordinary. Yet beneath its calm exterior lies one of humanity's most extreme and enduring environmental disasters. a place where the consequences of nuclear secrecy are still silently unfolding. Centralia was once a thriving coal mining town in Pennsylvania, built around the industry that powered much of America's early growth. Everything changed in 1962 when a landfill fire accidentally ignited an underground coal seam beneath the town. The flames spread through abandoned mine tunnels, and unlike a surface fire, this one had no easy way to be extinguished. More than 60 years later, the underground blaze is still burning. Toxic gases continue to rise through cracks in the pavement, and sections of the ground remain dangerously unstable. In some areas, underground temperatures have been recorded at over 200 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt snow from below and weaken the earth above. Roads buckled, sinkholes formed without warning, and entire neighborhoods became unsafe to occupy. As conditions worsened, residents were gradually forced to leave. Homes were demolished, utilities were shut down, and by the early 1990s, the state officially condemned the town. Today, Centralia exists mostly as empty land and scattered ruins. On Google Earth, it appears as a ghost town. Silent streets, isolated structures, and faint smoke rising from the ground. Beneath the surface, the fire is expected to continue burning for decades, possibly even another century, slowly consuming what remains of the town from below. Deep within the narrow canals of Xochimilco, just south of Mexico City, lies the island of the Dolls, a place that feels more like a living nightmare than a tourist destination. Hundreds of decaying dolls hang from trees, fences, and structures, their cracked faces and empty eyes silently watching anyone who passes by. Many are missing limbs, heads, or eyes, giving the island an atmosphere of constant unease. The island's origin traces back to a man named Don Julian, who believed he was haunted by the spirit of a young girl who drowned nearby. Fearing her presence, he began collecting and hanging dolls to appease the spirit and protect himself. Over decades, he added more dolls, some found floating in the canals, others left behind by visitors, until the entire island transformed into a disturbing shrine. As the wind moves through the trees, the dolls sway and creak, producing faint, unsettling sounds that only add to the island's reputation. Though the location can be clearly seen on Google Earth, experiencing it in person requires a boat journey and a willingness to confront one of the eeriest places on the planet. Near the Arctic Circle, buried deep within solid rock and permanent permafrost, lies the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, a facility designed to protect the future of human civilization. This underground vault stores millions of plant seeds collected from nearly every country on Earth, preserving the genetic foundation of global agriculture. Engineered to survive earthquakes, nuclear fallout, power failures, and even climate collapse, the vault is carved into a remote Arctic mountain. It sits roughly 430 feet above sea level, high enough to remain safe even if polar ice melts and oceans rise. Thick steel doors, reinforced concrete, and natural freezing temperatures keep the seeds preserved without constant human intervention. The entrance is rarely opened, and the interior remains sealed in near-total darkness and silence. In many ways, the vault feels less like a storage facility and more like a time capsule, waiting for a future where humanity may need to start again. It is not built for today, but for a world that might exist after everything else is gone. Despite satellites, drones, and modern science, vast parts of our planet remain dangerous, restricted, or deeply misunderstood. These places exist beyond certainty, visible from above, yet unreachable on the ground. And as technology advances, one question still lingers. How much of Earth do we truly understand, and how much remains hidden?